everyone, welcome to Talk Local. My name is Nav Nanwa and I'm your host, and we are going to kick things off on today's episode talking with members of the Visual Arts Mississauga group, and they have an excellent event coming up, actually a new exhibition called Necessary Gestures, which will be spotlighting emerging artists. And here with me to talk about that in greater detail, I have from BAM, Eldiana Bekovich, as well as Amanda Foles. Thank you both ladies for joining me here. I said your last name right?
Yes, you did.
Because we've had you on the show before, Eldiana, and we became best friends on the show.
You're a pro now.
Yeah. It's a beautiful name. But BAM, we were just talking off the air. Great start to the year, actually. I was saying on my Facebook feeds, I actually noticed quite a lot of BAM events. So it looks like you guys are really doing your part in promoting the arts within Mississauga. For those viewers that are not familiar with BAM, what is Visual Arts Mississauga? And Eldiana, will begin with you.
Yeah, Visual Arts Mississauga is an art center in Mississauga, located in beautiful Riverwood Park. We do the 3 pillars of arts education, community engagement, and exhibitions. Those are the 3 E's. And we basically are mandated to serve the city of Mississauga by creating arts programming that sort of engages anybody at any level. And I think we do a pretty good job of it, I hope. So.
Oh, it seems like it.
I hope so, yeah.
And Amanda over here is one of your instructors, right?
Yeah.
So what are you instructing when it comes to BAM?
I teach children's fundamentals courses.
Oh,
so
excellent.
you do a little bit of all different media.
Yeah.
And I also teach teen drawing.
Teen drawing.
Yeah.
So when you say fundamentals, do we start with stick people first, and then we formally graduate into the eyes and the ears and all that, or what?
Yeah, it's something like that. You start off with
Sorry, this is speaking for someone who's not an art connoisseur, but.
Yeah, you get to do a little bit of clay, and a little bit of drawing, a little bit of painting, and you slowly build those skills as you move from different levels of fundamentals classes.
Well, being that you work with, I guess, emerging artists at a very young age, we have Necessary Gestures coming up. Actually, the opening reception is taking place on Saturday, February 25th. What can you tell us about this wonderful event?
Yeah, it's a 2-week exhibit. So it's showcasing emerging artists from all across Ontario, and it's actually a first for BAM. We haven't been able to do what is considered a youth show, so artists who are 18 to 30. That demographic is, I think, very interesting because they're either in school, outside of school, practicing on their own, sort of finding their creative niche. Yeah. And this exhibit basically gives them that opportunity to showcase their work and what they're doing and how they're experimenting with mediums.
Excellent.
It sort of started as like a project out of curiosity. I wanted to know kind of what was happening in the art world right now in that demographic. So many people are doing what is considered experimental art because they're coming from a very traditional background, but they're finding new ways to do that, just like I think a lot of people that age are sort of finding how to do their careers. So you have a lot of people working maybe, with paint, but then finding the next medium to combine that with. We have a great artist by the name of Lynn Tai, who's a great example of that, where she does paper cut work, and basically paper cut work is taking something as simple as just regular paper, doing very intricate cutouts, and then with light, being able to play with shadows.
Oh, wow.
So you take something as simple as paper and scissors and can create this incredible installation. So that's sort of that idea of experimenting with like old media and new media.
No, it's great. And Amanda, you are part of the show.
Yeah.
And what kind of art do you specialize in?
Well, I work in lens-based work primarily, so it's a lot of video or photo-based work, but there's also an element of collage mixed in with it.
Wow. Yeah. So when you're putting a piece together, what's the sort of mindset you put yourself in?
I like to, when I make work, I like to think of myself trying to answer a question maybe, or ask a question, and then work through trying to figure that out by making the artwork itself. And maybe that question doesn't get answered by the end of it, but it's still.
Does it ever leave you with more questions?
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I think that's kind of exciting. I think when that stops, maybe you need to change what you're doing. Yeah. So I think it's a good motivator for making artwork, at least for me. That's how I.
No, but that's actually really interesting because the one thing I always found when going to an art exhibit of some sort is you typically look at a piece and you yourself as a viewer are asking yourselves a lot of questions regarding what was the artist thinking here, what are they trying to convey, is that does that shape, does it represent something? From you being from an artist standpoint, I find it very intriguing that, when you're finished a piece, you're sort of asking yourself more questions. Is that a way to sort of push yourself to want to dig a little deeper, maybe for the next piece?
I think it can be.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, because I think that's a great way to look at it. What other kind of art can we expect? You talk about, actually, if you think about it, the age range between 18 to 30. You mentioned, it's a pretty. I find that age range to be really based on discovery,
Right.
and just people really trying to find themselves. I'm in the latter part of that age range, but I find myself sort of asking these questions, and I'm looking for new ways of expression. Do you think that's what's sort of driving a lot of these artists, is that maybe they're dealing with things in their lives and they want to find ways to express it?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think there are certain people who are very sure in what they want to say, and their experimenting is coming with, how is the best way for me to convey this? Some people are doing it based out of what resources they have, like I only have this amount of paint and, I only have a stack of newspapers. What am I going to do with that? And it's incredible how much can be done with what you already have.
Yeah.
And I think we can't discount how resourceful that age group is, and whether it's artists or people in business or marketing, it doesn't matter. I think it's an opportunity to watch how resourceful that demographic can be, and this exhibit kind of is telling of that they can inspire people who are younger than them, but also reinvigorate artists that are older than them. So it's an important show. Excited.
We only have a couple of seconds left here in the slide, but I do want to touch on, for the opening reception on February 25th, in one sentence, and Amanda will ask you, what can the viewers expect from this event?
There's a really wide range of artwork that's going to be there. There's lots of new media. There's like TVs, there's internet pieces. People can engage with the artwork.
That's great.
That's really cool. And there's also an art making activity for ages 13 and up, I believe. So
That's
you can
great.
actually come.
And sample paper cut work with Lynn, who's also in the show. So
That's
I mean,
great.
a little bit of everything.
Exciting.
It's great for any age to come by, but I think it's even more important for that demographic to come check out what their peers are doing.
Well, I want to thank the both of you for joining us here on Talk Local. That's again the BAM Presents Necessary Gestures taking place on February 25th. We'll provide all the details right before this commercial break here on Rogers TV. Welcome back to Talk Local. My name is Nav Nanwa. Now we're joined by members of the United Way Peel and to talk about their wonderful robotics program. And here with me to talk about this in greater detail, I have from the United Way, Roy Sod and Arthi Javeri, as well as one of the members of the robotics program, Sadiksha Devanathan from Rick Hansen Secondary. Thank you everybody for joining us here on Talk Local. Roy, I must say, every time we get the United Way here on Rogers TV, there's always a plethora of wonderful initiatives that are going on with the organization. But now we're heading into the world of robotics, which I find very intriguing. Explain to me this link between the United Way and the world of robotics.
Happy to do so, Nav. Thanks for having us back. And so it actually started back in November where we were approached by Artie and a wonderful group from one of our corporate partners, Pratt & Whitney Canada, where they pitched sort of the idea of this robotics team out of Rick Hansen Secondary School in Mississauga.
Yes.
So I grabbed some of my United Way colleagues because any opportunity to see robots, we're all over. And so,
well, they're so in right now.
Right? And so we went there to sort of meet with these students, and we were completely blown away. Because here were a bunch of high school students who had built this amazing robot.
Oh, fascinating.
And you know, we started the conversations about how could we inspire other youth to sort of get involved in science, technology, math, get involved with robotics, and give them something to do after school. Because here's the practical part. At United Way, we know that when kids don't have anything to do after school, that's when they're likely to fall into sort of issues where they mix in with the wrong crowds. And so this was a great opportunity to inspire youth to do something after school and build something amazing, build a transformer, frankly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we met with the wonderful students at the Rick Hansen Secondary School and the volunteers just like Artie who support these youth. And we talked about how can we take what you guys are doing and take it to our agency partners. And so what we sort of decided on doing was bringing them together with our agency partners to do sort of like a robo day, where they would teach other youth about robotics, teach them about building and all the cool things you can do with them. So back in December, they actually went out to one of our agency partners, Polycultural, and they worked with Syrian refugee children to teach them about robotics via interpreters. And it was such an amazing experience for the youth, the Syrian refugee youth, but also the youth who participated in the actual event.
And you think about just when people think of United Way, they think of donations, they think about giving back to the community. In this way, it's almost like you're giving knowledge back to the community because, you know, having the ability to construct an operating robot is truly phenomenal. And I'm curious, Artie, what really excited you about this platform, especially with the work that was done in December?
When we went to these, when we went to actually the Comfort Inn at the, for the Syrian refugees, it was amazing to see how our goal was really to be able to impact new immigrants, to see how we could integrate them into the schools here, integrate them into society where we come from and give them the same opportunities that our kids have had in school. So by going to meet the new immigrants, what we did is we actually showcased them. We took a bunch of Peel settlement workers with us and students that actually knew the language, and we had translators that could translate all the work that we could do with them.